I do want to stress in this video that we will not be covering any spoilers, any leaks, or even rumors, really, coming up until the game launches. We've been waiting 4+ years for Final Fantasy VII, well, 4 years for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to drop, and the last thing I want to do is ruin that experience for you guys. So we will not be covering any of that stuff on here, and rest assured that my videos, if we do talk about any spoiler stuff, there will be a warning. Guys, we have a little over 2 weeks from right now until Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is officially out. We can finally play it and no longer just talk about it. We get to experience it, dive into it together, and discuss it amongst ourselves, which we will be doing a lot here on the channel. So hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any of those updates, because there's a lot of great things in this video, and there's also some disappointing things as well that I'm pretty sure a lot of people won't like myself. I had plans to go live today, but I was just really tired. It was my birthday over the weekend, yesterday actually, and man, there's just been so much going on. I just felt like I needed to take a day off, so I appreciate you guys for all the birthday wishes on Twitter. And also, don't worry, we're gonna be doing something this week for the birthday, a post celebration, maybe play some OG FF7. It's been a while since we played that, so we definitely could get that going. Let me know in the comments below what you guys would like to see. Now, with that being said, let's get into the video. Starting with the bad news, disappointing news, whatever you want to call this, Vincent and Sid will not appear in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's combat encounters. Yeah, previously, they've officially stated that, if you look right here, Vincent Valentine will be an accompanying character, with Hamaguchi explaining that the character would be very similar to how Red 13 was in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Red 13 was a guest character, and his actions in combat were handled by AI rather than the player. So I figured, okay, that'll be cool. Maybe Vincent and Sid will function in the same way in the background and help us out, right? 14 party in a way. 5 team technically. Unfortunately, Hamaguchi has now confirmed to IGN that the two characters will not be present in battle at all. I knew that they weren't going to be anywhere like the Sonon implementation, where Sonon was a functioning character that did things with AI as well. It was more of a hybrid between Red 13 and an actual playable character, because you could give Sonon abilities and commands for him to do, and he'll also tag team and team up with Yuffie. I was figuring we could see something similar of like what Remake did with Red for Rebirth, but that does not seem to be the case. Let's read on. They're going to appear in various parts of the story and scenarios where they play a role, or they'll help you out and assist you in some way. But they're not actually fighting as guest characters in that sense, said Hamaguchi. That means Sid and Vincent's combat abilities have been saved for the third and final game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. If we use up all the playable characters in the second part, then we would lose out on quite a lot of new surprises and experiences for the players in the third game, which is very true. Very true. And we'll talk a little bit more on that just now. Let's finish up this stuff. Despite not featuring in combat encounters, Sid and Vincent will still be significant NPCs in Rebirth's story. We do go deeper into their characters, Hamaguchi assured, not through the medium of the battle system, but through side quests, where they're going to be the main focus, and you'll learn a lot more about those characters. Very good, actually. I'm really excited to see just how much better Vincent's character side quests will be than Dirge Cerberus. All jokes aside, very hopeful, especially since they've been talking about taking inspiration from games like The Witcher, where they've really put a lot of effort into their side content, and looking forward to, honestly, losing myself into that. I mean, I feel like when we play this game, will we actually finish this game in 100 hours? I doubt that. Hard doubt. 200 hours is more like what it's looking like, guys. I'm trying not to make this like a 20-part series when we stream it and then post it to YouTube. If you guys want to see that, for sure, let me know. But I think that a good 2 hours per episode and cutting minimal side content just for the sake of getting through that, getting that narrative out there, and then going back in and diving into all the goodies with you guys. I don't know. I still haven't decided how we're going to play this out. Again, I will definitely take your feedback on that. And shout outs to Audrey. She double confirmed it, basically stating that Rebirth director Hamaguchi clarified in an interview with IGN they will not be participating in battle encounters with your party, but instead will have their own individual side quests where they are the main focus. Most likely stuff where they'll be diving deeper into the characters. I am a little bit confused when it comes to Sid, because, I mean, judging from the trailers and all the footage that they've showed us publicly and all that stuff, I have not seen anything that resembles Rocket Town. We've seen like a helipad, or like basically a runway where the tiny Bronco, I assume, sits, or that's where they come across and meet up with Sid in that way. maybe Rocket Town could be a third game implementation, but that would be kind of weird because, I mean, I feel like we get a Shara reference from Sid. He'll mention her somehow, some way, but I don't know if we'll see Rocket Town. I hope we do. Maybe it's just one of those things that they left out of the trailers, and I would prefer they keep it that way, so I'll be genuinely surprised when we finally play the game and get to experience that in our face. And shout outs to Shinra Art Department. They have a quote from Nomura stating that he is very happy but also a little anxious about how huge Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's dense open world has raised the bar for part 3 of the remake trilogy. They're working on both parts side by side. Main scenario, I recall, has been finished for part 3. Now it's all about implementing and developing the world, which they technically already did in Rebirth, right? In Rebirth, we have this massive, what it seems like, open world that they've showed us recently in the PlayStation State of Play, and that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see exactly how open it is, or not open, but like how much stuff is there to do in there, right? Because we can only imagine. Time will only tell just how much they've learned from all these other games that they've been mentioning in the past, and also saying that the game has been inspired by. So it's all very hopeful and great news, but a lot is still left to be seen. And the bar is insanely high. I know there's a lot of people that have been saying like, okay, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where it ends, there's not a whole lot left to go off of after that. And I don't think that's the case at all. There's actually quite a lot more, I would say, in part 3 that maybe that's going to be the biggest game of all time. I mean, like I said, they already have the world map essentially developed. There's a few key areas they need to add in, like the northern continent, right? The northern crater area, that's going to be another portion that we get to fully explore. And you can only imagine with all the current existing areas how much more they could expand on and give us, right? So just running through this list, right? Obviously within part 3, Vincent and Sid will be officially added to the party. We'll be able to play as them, and that's a whole lot of playability with those characters. I feel like on top of that, all the other characters as well who are currently still in the party will be getting their kits revamped, enhanced, and getting new implementations to their moves. I mean, they most definitely will be adding in more new abilities, synergy as well, and weapons, but just how much crazier are they going to get with this stuff? And that's what I'm also disappointed with about Vincent and Sid, is that like with Red 13 in Remake, we got to see him use some moves. There were moves that he would use, the AI would, and we got to see a sneak peek at what they function like and what they would do for Rebirth, where like now you can actually totally see that, like moves like Sidewinder and Stardust Ray were both used by the AI Red 13 and Remake. And on top of that, we also have the Northern Crater, the Junon Escape, the High Wind Access, and air travel once we finally unlock that, because we're not getting that in this game. We got Medial, we got weapons, not the weapons. I'm talking about the weapons, the beings that we fight all across the world. Medial's mine segment, huge materia, Rocket Town. I say Rocket Town because, well, we do return back to Rocket Town, but I don't know if we go there already in Rebirth. We'll have to wait and see. They got Wutai because Wutai is a big deal. Like if you look at in the beginning of like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Wutai is being mentioned a lot, and they're giving a lot of backstory to it and their connection with Avalanche, which is massive this time around. That stuff did not really exist in the original game. It was more within the compilation, right? Now Wutai, and they've said this, is being left out because they have big plans for it, but it's also going to be a massive space. And not only that, its influence in the new world of like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, whatever, they play a big part in it. A really massive one, to say the least. So that is probably going to take up a huge chunk of ours and be a place that we return to a lot. So Wutai is definitely a huge chunk for part 3. Returning to the Lost City. Also, we do return to Cosmo Canyon as well, and the Sunken Gelnica, which was the endgame dungeon underneath the water. Endgame weapons, unless integrated into the story. I mean, like I'm talking like Ruby and Emerald weapon, maybe Sapphire. Ridiculous materia. You guys know Knights of the Round, HPMP swap, Mime, all those goodies. Return to Midgar, and then back to the crater. And I'm pretty sure on top of that, there'll be possibly new other areas and important bits that they include into the story. So there is a lot left for part 3 to cover, and not as little as people have been saying. I've been getting a lot of comments of people saying that they're worried that part 3 is going to be very short in comparison to part 2 and not have a whole lot of stuff. I don't think that's the case, and even the devs are kind of worried about how crazy big it's going to have to be because of how big Rebirth is. And this also gets me excited for the next 2 weeks to just speed on by. I really can't wait. And I mean, in other good news, on top of that, shout outs to Hamaguchi, the director of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, mega fan of Final Fantasy VII as well. He made a tweet the other day, a couple of days ago actually. Just want to reiterate to you guys, demo that we downloaded, the Nibelheim demo, is going to be getting an update on February 21st. That is next Wednesday. They're going to be planning to add in the Junon area, which will give us a preview of the vast and expansive world, and they hope that we look forward to it. We have been doing like character guides. Like we did one character guide for Cloud recently, and you guys absolutely loved it. You guys absolutely loved it, and I had a great time making that. I'm going to be making a Sephiroth guide. It's going to be coming out this week. I'm probably going to start working on it tomorrow. I might record it live while we're streaming. I think that'll be fun, honestly, and we can just make sure we cover all bases with the crazy silver-haired boy. I want to do the Junon demo portion as well, where we talk about each of the individual characters, because then we'll be able to play as Aerith, Tifa, Barret, Red 13. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in that, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to adjust the materia builds just like we could in Nibelheim. I think it's going to be a special demo, man. I can't believe they're updating a demo to add in more story stuff. Go figure. That's amazing right there. Shout out to Hamaguchi, by the way, for giving us updates and then retweeting the official page updates. And he pinned this one too. What a goat. Also, follow him if you guys haven't. And I figured I mentioned this because I thought this was kind of interesting. It says, creative director Nomura says that he does see a lot of fan speculation. He thinks it's very insightful and interesting. Some theorizing comes close to what the team had envisioned, while some offers interesting alternatives that they never considered before. He can't say which is which, though. Nomura also adds that out of all the staff, he's probably the one who pays the most attention to fan speculation. Sometimes he'll even ask Toriyama if they're properly accounting for things that players have analyzed. If you guys have theories, and even some of mine that I've had in the past, chances are Nomura has looked at your video or checked out your tweet or Googled and looked up some stuff that you might have talked about or concepted yourself. So shout outs to you. I do hope at the very end of Final Fantasy VII's like remake project, I highly doubt they'll do this, but I would like to hear how much of the new implementations were things that were developed in-house or ideas that they saw fans talking about on social media. I would like to know. I mean, I just feel like that would be kind of interesting, but I don't think that's something that they would go ahead and shout out. Man, a lot of things. So shout outs to the people over the weekend was announced during my like birthday time when I was busy destroying my liver. But just looking through February 10th, February 11th, and even the 12th today, man, there's just so many articles that came out and a lot of details that you guys should really subscribe to and check out these places as well, because they do be giving updates, and I of course will be making videos on them when I get a chance, but you know, your boy's been busy of late. Other than that, we have some amazing stuff to look forward to next week with the demo dropping. I feel like that is going to have a lot of replayability. I've already played the Nibelheim demo like 5 times now, just going through and dissecting every ounce of like combat elements that we have. No word on the blurriness issue, right? With the demo, it does seem a little blurry, but Digital Foundry actually confirmed that it is 1440p, but there seems to be a bug with post-processing only rendering like 1/4 of the image quality, which is why it's pretty blurry. I hope it's an easy fix. Hopefully Square Enix has seen the issues and concerns with that, because this game is beautiful, man. There's no reason why the game should be looking that bad on performance mode. I think it's a shame if it's not fixed, and it's something that I definitely will be heavily campaigning for, and I really want for the fandom and for the community to really enjoy this game in the best possible way that they can, at least until the PC version drops, whenever that is. But there we go, guys. Tons of good updates. Some disappointing one in regards to Vincent and Sid, unfortunately. But other than that, we got great news all around, because the game is 16 days away from right now. Yeah, technically 16 days. I'm recording this on the 12th. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you all think about this? Sound off in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new. More Final Fantasy videos are on the way, and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.